I read that Warner Brothers head honcho Toby Emmerich was talking about Aquaman, and he said the movie turned out great and that James Wan created an amazing underwater world like we've never seen before. Do these comments increase your excitement for Aquaman? Love the show. All right, thanks a lot for the question, man. And yes, so Emmerich, who is the chairman of the Warner Brothers Motion Picture Group, Emmerich put out a statement talking about Aquaman and the anticipation for Aquaman. A lot of people are paying attention to it, wanted to see what he's talking about. And this is the statement that Emmerich put out. He said the following: "It's not too hot or cold. James struck a great balance between fun and jeopardy, edge and wonder, comedy and tragedy. James created a totally original underwater universe, just as Patty Jenkins did with Themyscira. James's Atlantis is cool and compelling, unlike any world we've seen on film before in a superhero movie or any other." So obviously, this head honcho guy from Warner Brothers, he's saying good things about this movie, but he's the head honcho of the studio that's putting out. What else do we expect him to say? However, it is cool to hear him talking about how like one of the constant themes we've heard about people who have seen anything from this Aquaman movie, one of the constant themes we've seen and heard from anybody that has screened some footage or a studio executive who's intimately connected and knowledgeable about the movie, whatever, is that the world that James Wan has created is really exceptional. That the world James Wan made and created is fantastic and great and all this kind of stuff. And that the world James Wan created is something that's really going to immerse the audience in. So to hear Toby Emmerich come out at this point and really talk about and highlight that the world stuff is great. Again, should we be writing headlines like, hey, the guy from Warner Brothers is saying a Warner Brothers film is turning out really good? Nah, let's not get too excited about that. But at the same time, it's still good stuff to hear. Because you'd rather hear the head guy from Warner Brothers going, yeah, talking about this world that James Wan created, blah, blah, just saying, well, we're curious to see how the audience responds to it. Like, you'd rather hear him say something good than not. I just wouldn't get too excited about it. But again, this whole element of the underwater world, and you know what's funny? It's the underwater world stuff that was some of my favorite stuff in the Aquaman trailer. The underwater stuff is some of my absolute favorite stuff in the Aquaman trailer, and that world that James Wan was creating in Atlantis and all that kind of stuff. It's some of my absolute favorite stuff in there. And it was really funny to me that some people were actually criticizing that stuff in the movie. They were actually criticizing the underwater stuff, saying, too much CG. It's an underwater world. What were you expecting? Just train Jason Momoa to hold his breath for 3 hours so he can go down and shoot all the scenes. Like, what do you expect? Of course it's CG. But I think it looked breathtaking and beautiful. I think it looked breathtaking and beautiful. Now, granted, it's just a trailer. It's out of context. But I can't wait to see it in context in an actual movie. So let's wait and see how that all turns out. All right, let's move on.